When people suffer from Bell's palsy or syncytisis, they believe that more exercises they do, the better will be the outcome. But unfortunately, this strategy doesn't work with Bell's palsy, and it can sometimes backfire, worsening the symptoms. Your facial muscles are different, unique, and that's why it needs to be treated differently. And here are the 10 reasons why you should stop whenever your facial muscle starts feeling tired while doing your facial exercises. Let's get started. Friends, if you are someone who's suffering from Bell's palsy or synovitis and needs personalized guidance, help, or information around it, make sure to follow this channel because we create dedicated and insightful contents on Bell's palsy and synovitis. Today's video is all about helping you understand the importance of stopping at the right time. Yes, you heard me right. You need not do facial exercises to an extent where your muscle just gets fatigued or just give up. There's a right timing to it. There's a right frequency and right intensity. And when you do those exercises under these guidelines, then only you can get better outcomes. So there are 10 reasons why this is important. Let's have a look at these reasons one by one. Reason number one, there is always a risk of static wrinkle formation. Now, whenever you are exercising your facial muscle, it is going to have a direct impact on your skin. The reason being your skin is directly in touch with your facial muscles, which is not the case with other body areas. That's why when there is a change in your muscle, there's a change in your skin. When you overwork your facial muscles, your skin will show its signs. It will look more deformed, it will look more wrinkled, and it will look more pulled in certain directions. Doing this excessively can turn into facial deeper lines, which are unwanted and unexpected in the face. That takes me to reason number two, aggravating of syncytisis and TMJ symptoms. Whenever you overstrain your facial muscles, the two muscles that are intact and are not supplied by your facial nerve is your temporalis and your masseter muscle. These are your chewing muscles, but they are in very close relation with other facial muscles. Whenever you are doing or attempting facial exercises on the muscles that are weak, you are overworking these muscles, and when these muscles overwork, it leads to increased risk of TMJ issues and facial delusions. That's why doing excessive facial exercises is not the good idea. That takes me to point number three, muscle spasms and twitching. Whenever your muscles will overwork, whenever they will get fatigued or tired, they will send you signal in the form of muscle spasms and twitching. So whenever you are feeling this, please remember that this is a sign of your facial muscles giving you this message that I am getting tired. Please don't allow this overwork further. So you need to stop immediately. Point number four. Whenever you over exercise your facial muscle, it leads to thinning of your facial fats. Because whenever we work out the face, you are losing the facial fat. That's why doing excessive facial exercise is not a good idea. Again, I repeat myself, I'm not saying facial exercises are bad. Facial exercises are absolutely good, but should never be done at a stage or to an extent where the facial muscle gets tired and fatigued, because that can make you lose your facial fat, which are very important aspect for your facial features. Number five, when you over exercise your facial muscle, it will lead to increased asymmetry because whenever you are exercising, your facial muscles are not aligned well. One group of muscles are very strong, which is the normal side, and the affected side is weak, which will lead to increased asymmetry, then better symmetry. Here we need to tone down the good side and then assist or facilitate the movements on the affected side. That's where we can strike a balance and we can attain a balanced facial movement. So this is very critical for you to understand. Point number six is increased inflammation. Whenever you are stressing your facial muscle, increased your stress level in the body, it can lead to micro tears on the facial muscles, which gives trigger responses of inflammation. That's why some people will observe facial pain, especially while touching on certain zones of the face. This limits your facial mobility and increases the facial asymmetry. That's why doing exercise which is not overstraining your facial muscle is extremely important. Point number seven is this create a hardened facial expression. What do I mean by that? Your facial expression comes from that is being set inside your brain. Now, whenever you are doing forceful facial expression, and that too when you do it on a repeated manner, your brain starts believing that this is the new normal, and it starts adding up to it and makes this as a permanent change. In order to break this pattern, it's always good to do less exercises on the facial muscle and not more exercises. Point number 8 is an effect or impact that will have on the elasticity of your facial muscles. Whenever you over exercise your facial muscle, it impacts and causes changes in the elastic property of the facial muscles. When your facial muscle gets overstrained, it starts losing its elastic property, the rebound property that these facial muscles have, and you will find it difficult to relax these muscles. That's why working on facial muscles at a toned down approach is far more better than over exercising of the facial muscles. Point number 9 is neural fatigue. Yes, when you over exercise, you can fatigue or tire your nerve, the facial nerve itself, which has been damaged during Bell's palsy and synkinesis. So, if you want that you don't tire your nerve, please don't overstrain it by doing more exercise, as this nerve is healing, recovering, and it needs rest. Last but not the least, diminishing returns. You should always remember this. Your facial muscles are very tiny as compared to other body muscles. They don't require 45 minutes of intense workout in order to strengthen. In fact, this will burn out your muscle. Most of the facial rehabilitation studies, researches, and evidences have shown that doing gentle, graded, and consistent quality movements are far more effective and impactful compared to hard, forceful, and more repetitive or more repetition based movements, as it increases the risk of synkinesis, creates a wrong pattern inside the brain, and strains your muscles. High intensity session can make you feel torn out or worn off, versus low intensity, controlled, and sustained practices make you feel more under control and coordination. So, which one will you choose for yourself while you are working on your Bell's palsy and facial recovery? Do let us know in the comment section below. And if you need any help related to your Bell's palsy and synkinesis recovery, feel free to reach out to us and book an evaluation session to understand how to work on your Bell's palsy and synkinesis. On that note, I'll end this video here and I'll see you in another video. Thank you.